Welcome to Vibrant Living with Vayu Yoga. I'm your host, Wendy Hassenflug, with my co-host. And this show is about learning how to truly live your life fully and completely. My passion really lies with teaching others how to make mind, body, spirit connections that lead us towards more healthier patterns and enhance our lives in a more positive way. So speaking of our topic today, which happens to be success, this is our 1 year anniversary for our show. Yay! I can't believe I was driving here and I'm like, it was 1 year ago today that we started Vibrant Living with Vayu Yoga. So I feel like we should have some champagne here. Cheers. Happy anniversary. Woohoo.
Yes.
So our topic today is about success. And before we actually go into that, I'd like to start with our signature activity. So if you're not used to our signature activity, if you're driving, keep driving and maybe do this later. But if you're not driving, just give yourself this 1 minute to just stop what you're doing. Place your hands in your lap. Place your feet on the ground. Sit up nice and tall. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, close your eyes. Take a few more deep breaths like that with your eyes closed, slowing the inhale down and slowing the exhale down. On your next inhalation, start to think about thoughts of kindness. And as you exhale, think of thoughts of goodwill. On your next inhale, oh my gosh, I can't even speak today. On your next inhale, visualize success. And as you exhale, feel that success. And then blink open the eyes.
By the way, I don't know if you know this, but this week is Random Acts of Kindness Week. So the fact that you mentioned kindness sort of plays into that whole idea. So if you didn't know about that, it's something you can consider.
One of my favorite things to do. I love doing random acts of kindness.
Yeah.
Not just for, it's actually more exciting when you do it for somebody you don't know, to just surprise somebody, which is more random, right? So when you really know how to tap into how it feels to be successful, then you start to attract more success into your life. It's simple. It's the law of attraction. Our last show, we spoke about vision being the beginning of the year. A lot of us set goals or New Year's resolutions and
right.
We set visions and so forth. And quite honestly, in February, things start to happen in our life. We start to get back into our same routines. Things distract us from those goals and those new things that we were trying to do.
Our enthusiasm is flagging already. I've experienced it myself.
Yeah.
How do I keep myself on track on that goal-oriented success path?
Exactly. So this is why I really wanted to focus on success this month, because I feel like if we're not aware of those things happening and we don't identify it and have the tools of what to do next to, okay, it happened, but I don't have to continue in that and just drop my goal and drop my vision and so forth. So we're going to share some information today about what can be done to help you really stay with that attitude of success and the way to stay focused on your vision. So let's dive into just a few starting points that I'd like to kind of jump into. One of the things when I was driving here, I was thinking, you know what? This would be really cool to just kind of start the show with. So here we go. It literally happened as I was turning onto Camp Plenty. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And Shannon doesn't know we're doing this. So here's what here's what we're going to do. Shannon, I would like you to think, and those of you, if you're listening as well, I want you to think of this as well, whether it's a podcast that you're listening later to, or if you're listening right now. So as you're listening, I want you and Shannon, because she's going to help play this exercise, I want you to think of one personal success for the year 2014. And you don't have to think big about it. Just whatever comes to mind comes out. Doesn't have to be a big one. One personal success for 2014 and share what that is.
For me, it was taking that time off to focus on myself, centering myself, finding focus and balance, and considering what works for my code of values,
Okay.
self-values, and for the goals and dreams I have for myself in the future.
Awesome.
It was kind of a big thing.
Yeah,
to
that's
take
okay.
that time to do that.
So that's one
Yeah.
big success, and that was something that you brought from 2014 from the whole year. Okay. Next up, think of a success from the month of January of 2015, small or big, doesn't matter, whatever comes to mind right off the bat.
9-day deep cleanse.
Awesome. Okay. Then I want you to think of yesterday, a success from yesterday, small or big.
Getting myself prepared to go back to teaching.
Awesome. Now I want you to think of a success for tomorrow. You're thinking ahead as if you're looking back.
I'm enjoying preparing for a successful semester and enjoying having been with my students.
Nice. So this came to mind, and I want you to just kind of show you what I did. I brought her back to a full year. So I went to the past to recall a success. Then I went back to more recently, just last month, to recall another past success. Then yesterday, very recent, so very fresh in her mind and her body, right? And then I took her forward to tomorrow and had her think about something that she's projecting out into the future as a success. So how did that
Right.
feel to do those?
Right. Empowering.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Makes me feel joyful.
And I think just the word success, for me, I love saying that word. It's a really cool word. It's just, it empowers you. It makes you feel good. It's accomplishing. It's a feel-good word, right?
It sort of gives you a direction, a path, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's something that just comes to mind when you start thinking about success. You can think about past successes and future successes as well, because that ties into the vision that we spoke about our last show in, projecting into where you want to go. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what I mean by that and some of the things that I listened to this weekend in my personal development work. As a yoga studio owner, I have found, and see, I've been in this world of health and wellness and fitness now since about 2006. And what I have found is that in January, our studios and our gyms and our classrooms are all packed. I mean, just packed, right?
True.
Then February comes around and there's less people. So it's a good thing if you don't like people all around you, but it's a bad thing in that means that a lot of people have done what we're talking about, right? That they have lost focus, allowed distractions to get in the way.
Already pushed it to the back shelf.
Right. So what we want to think about is you've got to keep in mind that the only way to fail is to give up and stop. And even if you do that, even if you do give up and stop, you can usually start again.
There was that fabulous quote that you posted yesterday on Facebook about...
I post so many, I don't remember.
She does. She posts a lot.
Like me on Facebook. You
Notifications
can see my daily quotes.
are far and wide, but it had to do with quitting and starting again.
Yes,
that this is, and I can't
Yes.
even paraphrase it at this point because all your other posts are there.
Right. But it's true. It's very true. And if you really want to do something, you're going to find a way, even if you're not going to find an excuse, right? So we're going to touch more on success and what we're going to talk about the relationship between failure and success success in yoga and all kinds of stuff. So when we come back, that's what you have to look forward to. You are listening to Vibrant Living with Vayu Yoga on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Welcome back. You're listening to Vibrant Living with Vayu Yoga. I'm Wendy Hassenblum. And this is your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Today we are talking about success. It's such a wonderful word to say. And I left the last segment with the quote by Jim Rohn, who's one of America's foremost business philosophers. And the quote states, "If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse." And it's very, very true in life. As a teacher, as a studio owner, and a nutrition and lifestyle coach myself, what I find is that the successful people in my life really seek out solutions. And the people that are not as successful right now will find excuses, and they're not going to accomplish what they want in the time frame that they really want, or possibly at all.
True.
So it's really about staying focused. And for me, it's really been rewarding to see the transformations that my regular clients are going through, whether it's through nutritional breakthroughs and transformations like you, Shannon,
Yes.
and your
Yes.
9-day cleanse that you did, or, physical transformations as well with, when it comes to yoga and
Well,
Pilates.
truly with the yoga. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been a really interesting journey for me over the last year and a half plus, incorporating yoga, nutrition, lifestyle changes. And it's exciting.
And it's been exciting being a part of that journey with you. Definitely.
You don't feel it every day. And
Oh,
some
no,
days,
no.
you do, your enthusiasm wanes, it flags
Right.
a little bit, but it's, saying, hey, look, I've gotten this far. Let's
Well,
not
and
stop now.
That's important to touch on, though,
Yeah.
Shannon, because those are the most important days to stay on target, even though you don't feel like you're moving ahead and you don't see progression or
Right.
results, right? You're not going to have that feeling or see results and progress every single day when you're working towards
and
something.
that's just life.
Right,
you know?
right. And the cool thing about it is that's where it's most important. That's
Mm-hmm.
where mindset comes in, and we're going to really
Right.
talk about that part of it. And that's where it really tests you, like the quote, it really tests how bad do you really want this thing that you're working towards. So I want to talk a little bit about what I've brought into my life since last September is mountain biking. So I'm now calling myself the MTB, which stands for mountain biking yogi, which as an Italian, that just
love
sounds
it.
funny. Yo, MTB yogi. I just, it's like
It's your rap name.
my Italian rapster here. But no, it's true. Mountain biking yogi. So my two favorite things right now are mountain biking and doing yoga and putting them together because they're such yin and yang. They're such opposites. And here's a little history about my success with mountain biking. So last fall in September, I started a 16-week challenge, a transformational challenge, and I took up mountain biking, and I really, truly was a novice at biking in general. Like, we're talking, I rode my husband's bike a few years ago in the driveway, fell off in the grass just by getting on the bike.
Well, that sounds
truly.
like me. Yeah.
So, true novice, right? So there's a really cool tracking system called Strava, and you can turn it on and track your rides. And so in September, when I started this challenge, I started tracking my rides. Well, here's some of my successes, all right? So I just started riding in September, okay? From September to December, I rode 24 times. I broke 29 of my personal records, and I rode over 130 miles. So for somebody that was a novice rider and really had
That's
never ridden
amazing.
before, okay? And here's the cooler thing. Since January of this year, just a quarter of that amount of time, I've already ridden 15 times, broken 12 more personal records, and rode over 86 miles. So
Fabulous.
for me, and I'm riding courses that are considered moderate to difficult because of the uphill climb on these. And, still, I am a novice. I'm still a beginner. But the point being, it's something that I find fun now because I've gotten better at it. I haven't done it every single day, but it's becoming more a part of my lifestyle on a more regular basis.
Were there ever any times where you felt, this really is not my cup of tea?
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't stand bike riding for years. And even in September, there would be days that I would find excuses that I'd be like, oh, the weather's not perfect because we're Southern California.
Southern California.
So I had to say that, right? Oh, there's a little bit too much breeze, or, I don't really feel like it today.
Blew me over today.
Right, right. And I would find some excuses, or what I started to do was just take a small ride. It's like, okay, I don't have to do the big rides. I can just do a small one.
There you go. And that's maybe that's an important point to hit on is it doesn't have to be a monumental success. Again, we've hit on this on other shows, but those baby steps will get you to the end.
Yeah.
It may not be as quickly as you'd like, but take those incremental steps, and those are the ones that'll get you to your goal.
Exactly. Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be goal oriented. Just get you towards, the next step of, what you're trying
Whatever
to work
that's
towards.
going to be.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I want to touch a little bit about success in yoga. And I found this article by Swami Kriyananda. It's called Selections from Material Success Through Yoga Principles. And I just want to read just a little bit from this because it just touches on so much about, for me, yoga is non-competitive. And you don't have to be successful
It should
in
be
certain aspects of
non-competitive.
yoga. So it's a
Yes.
different idea of success. So I just want to kind of, and we talked about that
Yes.
before the show, how different people define success in different ways. What's the definition you found, Shannon?
I found the accomplishment of an aim or purpose, the attainment of popularity or purpose, or profit, a person or thing that achieves desired aims or attains prosperity.
So interesting, because most of those are goal-oriented, accomplishing something, finishing something, or financial-based. Okay, so that might be what some people think success is about,
But that's
right?
not all success
No,
is.
there's so many other aspects. So I want you to kind of turn your yoga brain on. And if you haven't done yoga before, then think about this and be open to hearing this. So this is what Swami Kriyananda says. From a yogic point of view, every kind of success is a good thing. For the qualities that bring material success bring also divine enlightenment. Qualities that produce material failure, on the other hand, produce also spiritual failure, which the law of attraction, right?
Right.
Notable success demands an inward gaze, and this is what yoga teaches us. It comes not by drawing on other people's insights and discoveries, but by raising up from within oneself's insights that are uniquely one's own. So that's what yoga is all about.
It's the mindfulness aspect.
Right.
And yoga should be non-competitive, and yet I've seen competition, not so much in your studio, but in other places.
Yeah.
And that's really not what yoga is about at
Right,
all.
right.
It's about fully presence,
And thank goodness
being
there's
fully
no-
present and mindful.
Right, exactly. Right. So the cool thing about that is that a yoga practice will teach you how to do that, not necessarily on the first, practice that you dive into, but through some time and consistency. So the Swami also goes on to talk about right attitude as being the most important ingredient in any struggle for success. Right attitude is not merely produced by success, but it actually attracts success. That's hard to say. So that attitude, that mindset, and we've talked about this in last shows, and I won't stop talking about mindset because it's so hugely important. A positive attitude demands energy, but it also uplifts our energy. And yoga shows us how to uplift it and how to raise our consciousness. That's exactly what you were talking about, by tuning out to tune in and really make some mindset shifts.
And it actually makes the original definition make more sense from the Latin. It means come close after, to come close after, which is less material and goal-oriented and
like
more of a mindfulness nature.
Say that one more time. So success is less, what did you say it was?
Less material and more mindful.
Nice.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, after, because you're really looking into it. So the last thing that the Swami talks about is that it's important in life to develop positive attitudes and to exclude negativity as much as possible from your thoughts. Recognize it, but then let it go and don't follow those negative thoughts. Make it a point to expect to succeed and to expect the best from life and from other people continually. And that's the difference. That's the mindset. So yes, things are going to happen that are negative. Things are going to happen out of your control that you don't like, that are not on the path of success that you want to be on. But you just acknowledge it, and it's a what are those road bump? What are those called? The
Speed bumps.
speed bumps.
Right? Speed bump.
It's a
Just
speed
another
bump.
speed bump.
Exactly. Some speed bumps are bigger than others, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. You keep your mindset on surrounding your thoughts and the people around you and the things that you do with success, with positivity. Yeah. So
Yeah, I actually had that occur yesterday. Someone close to me rather deeply disappointed me, and in doing so hurt someone else that I love. And it just got under my skin for a while, and then I had to take a step back and say, do I really have control over what this person does? And am I going to let it affect me negatively?
Right. And that's important too, because that, you could follow that negativity, which is going to keep taking you off track from where you really want to be.
Right.
You have the choice. You acknowledge it and you can choose to follow that if you want, or you can acknowledge it and say, you know what, it's done. This is what I've learned from it. Moving back on track here.
Yeah. Took me a little longer than I had hoped, but doing well today.
And I'm glad
Back
you're
on
doing
track.
well today. So I'm going to finish the segment with a quote by Nikos Kazantzakis. He's a Greek writer and author. His success quote says, "In order to succeed, first we must believe that we can." Right? So that's what we've been talking about, that mindset of belief. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we come back after our next segment. If you are interested in coming to learn more about yoga and how you can start to work towards your own successes, whatever that means, come visit us at Vayu Yoga at the corner of 8th and Main Street or online at vayuyoga.com. This is Wendy Hassenflug, and you're listening to Vibrant Living with Vayu Yoga on AM 1220 KHTS.